I would rather someone come and just double dislocate my arms than I would this happen to my audience.
Is it any wonder that we cannot trust our police forces when they are now involved in the cancellation of perfectly legal comedy events, including those hosted by Katie Hopkins? That's exactly what has happened in Rugby over the weekend when her hit show, and remember, this is part of the Batshit Bonkers Britain tour, which has been sold out up and down the country and had tens of thousands of people attend with no trouble whatsoever, was cancelled at the last minute by the Rugby Council with threats from the police. Now, here is how Katie explained exactly how the show ended up being pulled. Big news, Outspoken is now available as a podcast too. So please do subscribe wherever you get yours, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and make sure you rate and review. I'll take 5 stars, if you may.
But we performed there in 2024, fully sold out. We all had a lovely time. The audience had a lovely time. And the ladies that run the Ben Hall are lovely ladies and really happy with the show. So we've been sold out for 4 months. 4 days ago, we had a phone call from a guy called Tom Kittendorf, who's the Chief of Wellbeing and Leisure at Rugby Council, paid over £70,000 a year, plus 20% pension contributions from you, the taxpayer, to say that our booking was cancelled, that there had been some protesters saying that they might show up. There'd been a petition which has just been hastily put together by people who never planning to attend the event and certainly didn't want to buy a ticket, which is absolutely their prerogative, and that our booking was no more. He even added that they would be doing us the favour of returning the money that we'd invested in securing that booking. The CEO of Rugby Council is a guy called Dan Green. I've called the council on multiple occasions now. He will not return my calls. He will not engage in conversation with me.
Now, Katie is very clear that she believes that this decision to cancel her show was politically motivated.
I believe it's politically motivated. It means the police are willingly going along with a politically motivated attack on me. And I would like you to look me in the eye so I can ask you these questions.
And after pledging that the show will go on regardless, Katie was then told that she would be locked out of the venue.
And I was told, Katie, the doors will be locked against you, which I think is very much sort of encapsulates exactly how I feel. The doors are being locked against me, but I will be there. So if you are a ticket holder and you live in the area and you're available and you want to come and grab a hug, I'll be there and get a selfie if you want. If you just happen to be passing by and you see me in a sparkly outfit, do feel free to come and give me a hug or take a picture or do whatever you want. But I will be there.
And of course, cancelling a show like that has real personal consequences financially too.
This leaves us with 480 paid ticket holders who have all organised hotels or restaurant bookings or child-minding bookings or have train fares that are paid for. Usually these are non-refundable. Hotels typically are non-refundable. People investing a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of time, effort and energy. And a lot of people, I've seen the messages, they're for people's tickets for someone's mum. And they were given them last October. And they've been looking forward to this for months. They've got their plan where they're going for dinner first, where they're going to get their drinks, what they're going to wear. And all of those brilliant people now don't have a venue. And if I can convey to you, sometimes people say, it's all right for you, you're in it, you're selling all these tickets. That is the tiniest bit of this tour is ticket sales. The absolute everything of this tour is how it is to have our people in a room laughing, feeling better and having hope.
And indeed, Katie, who has quite a way of words, says that she would rather have her arms dislocated than her venue being taken from her audience.
I promise you, I've been through a fair few things. I would rather someone come and just double dislocate my arms than I would this happen to my audience. I would happily let Dan Green and Tom Kittendorf come, and Chief Inspector Eagles, come and dislocate my arms, but don't take away my venue from my audience, because I love them. And I'm not saying that those boys would have actually the muscular ability to dislocate anyone's arms looking at them, but that's not the point. The point is, for no reason a venue's been cancelled, and I just want to make it very clear that I have worked with other people tirelessly to try and find a substitute venue, and we haven't been able to do that at 4 days' notice, but I can tell you for certain that I refuse to be cancelled. I refuse to be cancelled. I refuse for my audience to be let down.
And this was a new approach from Katie, actually, and I love it. I love it. It's the David Starkey approach. It's an approach that I now try to take, right? Like, you can't cancel me. You can try, but you can't. So what Katie did is told the 430 ticket holders that we're going to arrange another venue for you at another date, but I'm still going to be there. I'm still going to be there on Saturday night. And by the way, even if you don't have a ticket, come on down. And it went well. She posted on X afterwards, "Thank you, Rugby. What a lovely night at the Ben Hall. Really proud to call you all my family." And I spoke to actually one of my friends went down. He said there were so many people there. And actually, there was a brilliant video. There was a brilliant video where Katie and a couple of her audience expressed their feelings towards the council. But first, in today's digital world, your online freedom and safety have never been more under threat, whether it's government overreach, tracking by big tech, or cybercriminals lurking on public Wi-Fi. That's why I use Surfshark. It is the world's best VPN that protects your identity and secures your data. But Surfshark is so much more than your usual VPN. Go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark to secure your data, protect your freedom, and support Outspoken at the same time. Now, look at this. Surfshark's clean web feature blocks ads, trackers, malware, and phishing links so you can browse safely without being spied on. And it makes the experience so much easier and more pleasant too. Need to access certain apps or websites without VPN interference, like your banking app? Surfshark's bypasser feature handles that with ease. And if your VPN connection ever drops, Surfshark's kill switch immediately disconnects your device from the internet, keeping your data safe at all times. Plus, with dynamic multi-hop, you can route your connection through 2 different countries at once, doubling your encryption and making tracking nearly impossible. This means you can freely switch beyond your favorite country lock shows with the click of a button, so you can be watching your favorite TV shows and sport from all around the world, wherever you are. There are other benefits with Surfshark too. You can access it on unlimited devices, meaning your entire household can stay safe with just one subscription. And with over 3,200 servers in over 100 countries, there is a world of choice at your fingertips with 24/7 customer service too, which is a real positive. So go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. And what's more, Surfshark's so confident that it is the best VPN in the world that you can give it a try for a full 40 days. And if you're not entirely satisfied, you will get your money back. So go to surfshark.com/outspoken or use the code outspoken at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. But now, back to the show.
Come on, Troubles! Right, now we're going to do a rude one. Ready?
That's it. Fuck Rugby Council! Fuck the
To my superstar panel, Lewis Brackpool, Alex Phillips. Alex, look, I think this is a new approach from Katie, but I love it. There was no trouble, right? So the police were warning, oh, this could turn into civil disobedience. There was no trouble. Everyone knew she was going to be there. And don't you think the fact that she did go and that there was no trouble proves that the reason for cancelling the show was totally politically motivated, because there was no trouble, even though she was outside the venue. There were no counter protests. There was no trouble from her people. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's become so normalized, hasn't it? If someone's going to be expressing a viewpoint or an opinion or represents an opinion or a viewpoint which is considered to be dangerous because it isn't all pro multiculturalism, it's actually sort of looking skeptically about what's happening to our country and raising views, even if it's doing it for a laugh. It's become very normalized, hasn't it? That these things are sort of shut down for reasons of safety. And I think she has taken the right approach here, because what's important is that we don't rise to the bait. We do say, look, this is a free country. If I want to go somewhere, if I want to speak to someone, I will do so. But I'm going to stand tall with my shoulders up and not actually fight, but do things peacefully and try to be the bigger and the better person. Be calm, be collected, and just, don't provoke them, because like I said, this has become so normalized now for everyone to be shut down who's trying to express dismay at our current situation in this country. In the same regard, that it's a good thing that Tommy Robinson isn't going to Epping Forest. I think that the way Katie handled this situation was very sensible as well. It sort of tried to have a bit of fun, but without causing too much trouble. And I think it's a lesson that we must all learn as we try and push back against the powers that be, to stay calm, stay collected, be the bigger person, show what being British and what upholding British values really means, not just in words, but in deed.
Lewis Brackpool?
Yeah, I think many people across the country that for some weird reason still hate Katie. She lives rent-free in their heads and has done for many years now. I need to now investigate this particular council department. I've never heard of such a ridiculous department within, politics. But yeah, I agree with Alex completely. This is the best way to do it. Have your fans turn up peacefully and just to make your voices heard. And I've been to one of Katie's shows before as a journalist, just to check it out and have a little look. And she does, as she says, adores her audience, and she makes a lot of time to actually go and speak to them and to interact with them. And it's not a quick hello, goodbye. It's actually a lot of time and patience, and of course answering and asking lots of questions that a lot of people feel very disenfranchised with. So for her to do a comedy tour just to make people laugh, and the actual government is getting involved, or local government is getting involved, screams tyranny to me.
Yeah, and it is interesting, isn't it, Alex, the point that Lewis makes, like the hatred that people have for Katie Hopkins. I think where she has been incredibly sensible in her use of this new alternative media is that everything Katie does is with a smile on her face and with joy in her heart. And it is the total opposite of how she has been presented in the mainstream media, which is as a monster, as some sort of Hitler-like figure. And actually these days what she talks about is unity and bringing everyone together and having a laugh. And I do think she is changing perceptions, because increasingly people are not lazy enough to just rely on a mainstream media interpretation of someone.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is happening to all sorts of characters, isn't it? Tommy Robinson's another prime example, that his appeal is broader now than it ever has been. And he's taking a more sensible and diplomatic approach to the way he goes about things, because he realizes that that's what we need to do. It is someone like Katie Hopkins' appeal. People say, oh, well, she said this, she deserves to be cancelled, she did that. What they don't understand is the Overton window's now shifted. It was actually the powers that be, the establishment voices, who made the bed and made her lie in it. She didn't do that to herself. And in many respects, that's what they did to Tommy Robinson. They decided what he was saying about what was going on in our streets was beyond the pale. You can't say that. You're a racist. You're a monster. Therefore, you're not allowed to do X, Y, and Z. So you push people into a corner where they're going to have to fight back, where they're going to have to try and make their own way in life via different means, because they have been cancelled. And then they get accused for being the ones who cancelled themselves, where they didn't. It was the establishment powers. But everything is changing. Everything is shifting. And a lot of characters now are beginning to be regarded in a different light. Even Nigel Farage, for crying out loud. We can see a huge political revolution and a cultural revolution beginning to take hold in Britain.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis, it's almost like this idea of there's a difference, I think, between the mainstream now, what is mainstream, and the mainstream media, right? Because I absolutely abhor the mainstream media. I spent all of those years in it, but I could never, ever imagine wanting to go back. And I'm sure Katie Hopkins would say exactly the same thing. However, do I think she is now back in the mainstream? Absolutely. because it doesn't matter if you're not on these horrible shows, right? She'll never be on ITV's This Morning again, but it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. And people are turning off from the TV. People are more interested in big platforms such as X and social media to either get their news or just to, have a flick around and see some entertainment as well. Content and the way content is presented has totally changed. This is why institutions like the BBC are clinging on for dear life on that license fee to keep everyone in check. Whereas people are sick and tired of regulation. People are sick and tired of bodies such as Ofcom or the Off-Communists like we talk about. And, things are changing. Like Alex said, it's about the Overton window really, really shifting. So lots of characters that were demonized by the establishment and told that they were this awful, monstrous figures are actually turning around and saying, well, this is the real them that they can openly express on all these different social media platforms. And so it is an interesting time that we're living in, and it is accelerating. And I'm quite excited as someone that's part of the alternative media scene, I guess, as an independent, watching things unfold and being able to, express yourself a bit more on these social media platforms without being banned. It's just now that we're all thinking about the law, the police, and how they are completely overarching and overreaching upon not just events, but everything that you're saying, which is, once again, very dystopian.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.